Hey there, TRW crew. Matt Vassallo here with the rhinestoneworld.com. So this TRW tutorial is going to walk you through how to create a design similar to this in the TRW Stone Wizard and Corel Draw. So this is it's a little bit more elaborate design as far as getting all the stones to fit in perfectly into the design. You got your glitter heat transfer vinyl, your Siser Easyweed heat transfer vinyl, and your stones. So everything that you see here we do have available on the website at therhinestoneworld.com with all the stones, the Siser Easyweed heat transfer vinyl, and the glitter heat transfer vinyl. But we're going to walk you through in the TRW Stone Wizard here how to create a design like this with all the stones all around it. Because we've had a lot of people asking to create a design with some letters for different high schools or whatever they're working with and be able to get the stones to form perfectly around it as well. So we're going to show you how to do that here. So let's move this off to the side here. First thing we want to do is text. We want to do a capital L, and then we're going to enlarge that a little bit. We're going to go over here to our fonts, and we want our college black font. Okay, so just to make sure it's right around the exact size, I'm just going to hover it right over top here, and that's looking pretty perfect there. So now I'm going to drag, right click, and let go. And that's going to just make a quick copy of it. And then I'm going to go my capital R. And then I'm going to move this over into here. And I know I can see the L's a little bit below that R there in this one. So let's make it pretty much the same. I want this lined up pretty good. So I'm going to bring this back just a tiny bit there. And just make sure that's lined up nice, because there's going to be a line of stones going down there. So I know down the road I want that to be lined up good. So that's looking perfect there. And it looks like we have our LR part of the design. All right. So now next step, what we need to do is we need to create some contours for this. So as you can see, we have our opening where the shirt is coming through. We have our glitter on the inside, our Easyweed on the outside, and then our stones outside of that. So on our L right here, we're going to go to the wizard and we're going to go place and fill. We're going to do a 2-island fill to the outside. We don't want to add stones, and we're going to go, let's say, a 0.07 spacing. Hit island fill, and then I'm going to right click on the black over here, and you can see our 2 fills there. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the R. Just click on the R, island fill, right click, and you can see them. And the only reason I'm doing the right click is so you can see the objects as they're being formed back behind it. Now I'm going to click on this inside one here and the inside one on the R while holding shift, and I'm going to turn those to yellow and right click to get rid of my outline. And then same thing, outside, hold shift, outside, let's turn those to a blue, right click to get rid of my outline. So we got our design, and you can see how it's starting to form here. Now I'm going to highlight all of the L. And in our edit tab, we're just going to edit tab there. We're just going to bring that selection to the front. So you can see that there. Now what we want to do is we're going to start thinking ahead in our design so it makes it easier near the end, okay? And what I mean by that is first thing we're going to do is with this R right here, you're not going to see what I'm doing here or know why I'm doing it until a little bit into this design. But I just highlighted my entire design and I clicked on my boundary. And I'm just going to drag it off to the side there. So I have a boundary of the outside of that R, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, you can see my blue layer is its own layer, okay? So I'm just going to Control Z to go back. And I'm going to go to my place and fill. I'm going to do a 1-island fill to the outside. And now this time I'm going to go 0.14 inches because I know that's the amount of space that we need to fit a rhinestone in, okay? So 0.14 inches. And island fill. And again, I'm going to turn that, let's say, a pink. And you can see what that did right there. Now I can look at my design. I say, okay, I know stones are going to be right along this pink line here, all right? So to do that and to make sure everything is going to look good, I can see there's a little opening there. So with the LR, I can move this up a tiny bit right to there. And I know stones are going to run right along that nicely. Okay, perfect there. Now what I'm going to do is I need to hollow these out because you can see these are all their own individual areas and their own individual objects, and they're all filled. Same here. I pull that pink out. It's a filled pink. Very easy to fix that real quick. Highlight it all, and we're going to go simplify, Doesn't look like it did much, but watch what happens. See how all their own actual hollowed out objects here now? Okay, so that's a big tool right there. So now what we're going to do is, first off, we don't want this pink. So we're going to delete that, and that's going to give you that look there where the stones are going to fit. And then we also don't want the yellow, and we don't want the yellow. Okay, so you can see our design starting to come together here. Now what we want to do is we want to add our stones. Well, that's why we created this back before, and I'm going to show you here. So watch, let's do the L first. So I'm going to click on the blue, and I'm going to go ahead and create a boundary. So there's the boundary it created. Okay, so it's just along the outside, which is exactly what we want. Now we want it to be, let's just say emerald stones for now, so they show up good. We're going to click on the boundary. You can see I have the boundary there. And we're going to do a one island fill to the outside. This time we're going to add stones and go 0.075. So we got 0.075. And that's going to hit us right about in the middle of our outline right there, like our white area that you can see and around the outside. So watch what happens here. I go island fill, and look what it did there. Perfect. Now, what did I forget to do there? I forgot to hit our corner detect. So that's why you're seeing that. So no problem. Just you can undo that real quick and add our corner detect. And now I'm going to hit island fill, and look at the difference. It hits all those corners perfect. Okay? Very good, very good. I'm going to highlight that and go ahead and clear paths. And that cleared the path that those stones were on. I'm also going to get rid of our boundary there that we created. So just delete that out. Now we're saying, okay, I can do that same thing with this R, right? I can go here, I can create a boundary, and I can go ahead and stone it. Well, I'm going to show you what happens if you do that, just so you know. So if I did that and I created a boundary and I hit island fill, see what's going to happen? It's going to go to the inside too. And I'm going to show you why it's doing that. The reason it did that is because when we welded this or simplified this, you can see the L never closes off, or it never opens to be able to get to the inside of that. So it created a boundary just along the outside. Where the R here, it did, so you can see the boundary went from here to here to here to here, and it followed a boundary all along the outside of that blue. Okay, does that make sense? So you can see how that boundary was created. Well, that's why we thought ahead and we created this R. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the black on our R and the blue, and we're going to go ahead and group it. I held shift, so now I can group it. Now you can see this R is grouped together. Now I'm going to hold shift and click on our boundary there that we created. We're going to go to the edit tab and then align objects. We're going to go to the left, and you can see it's still not perfect, so we're going to go up. And now that is aligned perfectly to where we were before. But you can see it has a line going down there, which is no problem because we just wanted it to stone out easier for us, and then we can fix this in just a minute. So now we have that boundary selected. Back to our place and fill. One island to the outside, add stones at 0.075 with a corner detect on. Go ahead and hit island fill, and you can see what we get there. Okay. Now, again, what we can do, we can click, because the lines were broken, because it finds those corners, we can just delete that right there. And you can see everything ran out pretty perfect there. So I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to go ahead and clear paths like we did before. We want to get rid of our boundary like we did on the last one. And you can see what we're left with here. So that is pretty awesome looking. The only thing I would change on this is I would want to like on the other one, get some stones in here. So I could go here and hold shift to here. I'm going to go to my edit tab, and I'm going to fill between two stones. So you can see it filled between those two stones perfectly. Now remember, when we do the fill between two stones, those are all together. They're all grouped together and next to each other right now. So we definitely want to make sure that when you're on your place and fill, you're going to break the stones apart. So when you break them apart, you can see you can grab the individual. It's just like clearing the path, but we want to break the stones. Okay? And then we can come in here and you know what, probably want one there and there just to make that look a little bit better. If we wanted to, we could easily throw some stones in here too. So I'm going to click, hold shift and click. I'm going to drag them over to here and right click. That copied them. Now I can probably grab 3 rows in there. 1, 2, and 3. That looks pretty good. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So everything's looking good right there. We are done with the LR. Now the cool thing about this is, I'm going to make a copy of this over to the right here real quick, is if we wanted to, and let's just say we don't want these stones. So that's, oh, one other thing we need to do. When we did the detect corners, we will have some overlaps at those corners. So real easy to do, just select on one of the green and go ahead and hit select same color. And then you can hit merge overlaps. It's going to run through its magic right there on the merge overlaps. And then once it runs through all of those stones right there, you can see that it went ahead and took that away there. So it got rid of all of those merge overlaps, okay? So now what we can do is, let's just say that someone did not want the stones in there, okay? Very easy to do. If we were on, let's say, a new page here. So up here, we can just click on new. This is going to open up a new page in Corel Draw for us. And I'm going to paste this in here. And I could just click on one of my greens, select same color, and delete those. And then you've got this design right here that you could still just do in heat transfer vinyl. We could go, let's say, silver. Oh, now we ungroup that real quick. And we could go silver glitter and a silver glitter. And let's say we wanted both of these to just be a black HTV. So you could get something like that. All right, so let's close that out. Just wanted to show you that real quick. And we don't need this guy anymore. Oh, actually, let's use that guy. Did we merge these overlaps real quick? We should have. Yep, okay, those are good. We don't have any more overlaps. All right, now what we want to do is we want to get this softball look in here. Well, let's say that this L and the R, let's say this R, we're going to use that same silver glitter. And let's say on this blue, we're going to go ahead and use our, let's use the black. And what I'm going to do here, so it's easier to see the crystal so we can get that same look, is I'm going to go up to my layout and my page background. And I'm going to change my page background to another color. So let's just turn it to like a brighter green and hit OK. All right. Now what we can do is we can click on one of our greens here, select same color, highlight, just type out CR. It'll change them all to crystal automatically. And you can see we're getting this exact look right here that we created over here. Now the only thing we got left is our baseball or softball. So I have the softball over here for us. I'm going to go ahead. This is just a softball from the website. And you can use any different type of design that you want to go in here. And I'm going to bring the softball in here. Okay, so now if I put the softball right here, obviously we don't want the rhinestones to go on top of the glitter heat transfer vinyl or even the Easyweed, and obviously not on top of other rhinestones. So what we want to do is, just like we taught you in one of the other videos on how to create a contour for a rhinestone car decal, we're going to do that same type thing for this. So I'm going to highlight this design and I'm going to group it together. Okay. So now it's all grouped. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my place and fill. I'm going to do a 1 island to the outside. I don't want to add stones. And let's just say we want to do it at 0.0. Let's do it at 0.07. Let's see what that's like. And no corner detects on. And island fill. So it's going to run through it all. And it just ran through it all real quick. I'm going to come over here and left click on the blue just so you can see what happened. And that's how you create a contour for a rhinestone car decal if you want to cut it in your cutter. Well, we want it for up here, and we want to use it in our actual design here. So we have this grouped, and we have this part. What we want to do is we want to bring this part, our contour, up into our design here, and then just arrange it to where it's not going to touch quite as many. So you can see I'm just missing that stone, just missing that stone, and I'm just missing that stone. So that's perfect right there. That's pretty much the way we want it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the entire design here, and I'm going to come up to simplify and hit simplify. Okay, So it's going to run through everything right here when I hit simplify, and it has a little bit of work to do here because it's got to hollow out all of the silver glitter vinyl. It's got to get all of this black heat transfer vinyl, but then the hardest part is it's got to go through and get all of these stones as well. So it can take a little bit longer just depending on the design, but it looks like we just finished up here. So when I go ahead and zoom in here and I pull this away, you can see that it took all of that out. So now what we can do is we don't need this anymore. We can get rid of him. Or what you can also do is if you want to make it easier on yourself, you could highlight him, highlight your ball, go to our edit tab and go ahead and hit the up arrow and then the align or the right arrow and then align objects. And you can see it's going to center it perfectly there for us. Okay. Now what we can do is we can click on the blue and delete that. You can see now it's got that hollowed out area. And one last thing you want to do real quick is just these little spots where it had a little bit of that stone that was cut off. I'm just going in and deleting that. And it looks like that there's one tiny, real little one right there that you can see. I'm going to delete that one as well. And there you go. You are completely done with this awesome looking design. And we could change this around to baseball. We could change it to softball. You could do whatever you want. And if we go ahead and ungroup this, let's just show you what it looks like on some different designs. So we're going to get rid of this one here. Let's highlight this and let's go to our mockups. If we just wanted to create a customer mockup without a shirt, we could click on that real easy. And it's going to run it right there perfectly for it. Now, what it's going to give you your stone counts. It's going to show your glitter. And then again, you can't see the black back there. If I hold control and we turn this to another color and we turn it to a gray or a little bit lighter, you can see the black in the design there. Or if I hold down left and I come over here and turn it the dark green like we wanted, there you go. Now again, click on it one time, click magic stones, and then it's going to give you your perfect stone look as well. So there's our LR design. Took probably 10 to 12 minutes to create, and this is something you can do with any different letters. I mean, if you have SE is another school around our area, or MH is another one. So any different designs, you can use any different balls that we have on the website or different logos or a band instrument or whatever you want to create something like this. And it's an awesome looking design that you can have for your local school or team or anybody you want that's going to look pretty unique with the different sport involved in it. And obviously do it without the ball or the sport. And this is exactly what the LR logo looks like anyway for the school. So hope this video helped you out with the tutorial on how to create an awesome looking high school design like this, and then also the ability to get the stones around and inside of it, because you can see when we go in here, the stones are all on the shirt there. They aren't actually on the glitter heat transfer vinyl, which is going to make them adhere perfectly, but it gives the look that the stones are going over the glitter heat transfer vinyl. So that's the cool thing about it, and some of the different things and ways you can do that with the TRW Stone Wizard version 1.1 and Corel Draw with designing rhinestone or multi-deck design. So I hope this video helped you out. Again, everything that you saw here is available on the website at therhinestoneworld.com. We have the TRW Stone Wizard version 1.11 available on the site, and you can create all of your designs from scratch in this rhinestone macro. And it is available in X4, X5, and X6, 32 and 64-bit versions. So it'll work with pretty much everything you have out there. And then also all of our glitter heat transfer vinyls that we have available on the website, our regular Easyweed heat transfer vinyls, and all of our Korean low lead rhinestones that you see here in this image. So if you do have any questions, make sure to give us a call. Number's 941-755-1696. Again, this is Matt with therhinestoneworld.com, and you guys all have a wonderful day.